convinced.
Hello and welcome to the Game On review sofa.
Yeah, I'm not convinced, Dan. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced it adds anything.
Well, maybe we just need some scatter cushions.
In our console's disc trays this week is quite simply the hottest game in the world. I don't mean temperature, I mean metaphorically.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 has finally hit shelves, sending gamers around the world into a frenzy for the latest instalment from Soap McTavish, Captain Price and some pesky Russians.
Excluding Nikolai, of course.
Yes, of course, except Nikolai, who fights valiantly with your band of the world's finest special service soldiers.
No, I meant Nikolai, who works at the Barber's just around the corner from me.
I think you probably need to visit him.
Yeah, I do. The single-player campaign has been compared repeatedly to something straight out of the head of Michael Bay, the director of films like Transformers.
But we think it's so much more than that.
So much more.
Yep, the intensity of the action, the pace of the drama, and the scale of the explosions is more like what you'd expect if Michael Bay and Roland Emmerich had a love child.
In a fleeting 6 hours, you're whisked around the world, stopping off in Paris, Berlin, London, Sierra Leone, Hamburg and New York to shoot at various things and admire the scenery.
It's an apt globetrot for a game franchise that's become such a worldwide phenomenon in the past 5 years.
It is an apt globetrot. It also adds to the cinematic feel of the campaign with such grand backdrops in which the plot unfolds.
Similarly, developer Infinity Ward's decision to again incorporate multiple protagonists gives you a slight sense of the anonymous viewer watching a story unfold that is totally out of your control.
It's a credit to the game that familiar faces like Soap and Price are back again to draw you out of this observer role and make you feel a bit more involved.
You just like the feeling of having friends, don't you?
Yeah.
If he's back on the grid, then so are we.
The cinematics aren't the only things reminiscent of a Hollywood action movie.
No, the simple, rugged good guys hunt down the evil, mustachioed baddie in order to save the world story smacks of countless summer blockbusters, but it's a formula that works and works well.
Don't expect anything too new from the campaign. It's still a pretty heavily guided experience which doesn't allow you off the beaten path.
But it's loud and flashy enough to be a thrilling experience on your first playthrough before you move on to the multiplayer mode, which, let's be honest, is the reason everyone buys the game.
First thing to talk about is the return of Spec Ops, which you can of course play alone, but it's always better with a friend.
The series of mini challenges is fantastically entertaining and challenging at the same time, giving the offline mode heaps and heaps of replay value.
On top of these challenges, Infinity Ward have introduced a survival mode.
Now, they always said no to the inclusion of zombies, made famous by Treyarch's involvement in the Call of Duty series. But to be honest, survival is as we expected it would be.
Just like zombies, except they're still alive, technically.
It does lack that element of tension and novelty that Nazi zombies made us learn to grow and love.
Team, ground forces cannot get to the LZ. It's just the two of you from here on out.
As for the online multiplayer, Infinity Ward's biggest change is to replace kill streaks with point streaks, which you get from tactical play, not just pumping your opponents full of lead.
Meaning you can still achieve bonuses even if you're literally the worst shot out of every single one of the 6 million people expected to buy the game on its first day of release.
There is hope for you yet, Dan.
What?
There are also a host of new modes that truly refresh the COD multiplayer experience and will hopefully be enough to get even the harshest of critics raving again.
Such as the brilliant Kill Confirmed, which sees you earn points not for killing the enemy, but for picking up their dog tags after doing so.
Or stealing the points back by picking up the dog tags of a fallen comrade.
It's a team-driven game that actually requires proper teamwork rather than just aimless shooting.
Well, as well as aimless shooting.
As well as aimless shooting.
The levelling up process of the game is stripped back to what you want to upgrade.
Gone are the irrelevant pictures and images Treyarch thought would be so alluring in Black Ops.
Which makes the whole online mode feel like it knows what it's doing.
It's Infinity Ward taking back control and saying, here's how it's done.
All in all, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is a sublime effort in the franchise.
It's true that COD has developed a lackluster feel with the yearly releases, but when you think about it, it's a case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So why do so many people complain every year?
Instead, Infinity Ward, who are clearly now masters at their craft, have taken something that works and just continue to make it better.
I agree. A final score, Dan?
We would like to award Modern Warfare 3 a more than respectable 9 out of 10.
I think Modern Warfare 3 will be more than happy with that.